Alright everyone, pull up a chair and listen to this. Prince Harry's royal bubble has just been burst, popped live on primetime American television in front of millions of people, and the humiliation was absolutely, unequivocally brutal. The Emmy-winning host John Oliver, a man known for his razor-sharp wit and for delivering unapologetic truth bombs, was a guest on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And when the topic of Prince Harry came up, Oliver flatly, and with a cool sense of dismissiveness, refused to call him Your Highness. Instead, he waved away the title with one cold, cutting, and incredibly powerful phrase: "He's just Harry, and nothing more. If I ever meet him, I'll address him as Harry." For a prince who is so desperately clinging to relevance, for a man who still demands the deference that he no longer commands, this moment was catastrophic. It wasn't just a joke from a late-night comedian. It was a public execution of his relevance. It was the moment the world finally said out loud what we have all been thinking: the emperor has no clothes. Now I know you guys are excited for more. But before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So, now, let's be clear about the context here. Since stepping down in 2020, Harry has lost his military roles, his royal patronages, and the entire aura of authority that once surrounded him. He is, in effect, just a title on paper. And John Oliver just held that piece of paper up to the light and showed the entire world that it was completely and utterly blank. In the US, Harry and Meghan have tried to brand themselves as these brave royal rebels, but the public perception is rapidly changing. Polls across both Britain and America show their approval ratings are in a nosedive. A man who was once adored for his charity work is now widely viewed through a lens of entitlement over action. And the late-night hosts, the barometers of cultural relevance, are noticing. John Oliver is no ordinary comedian. With millions of viewers worldwide and a cabinet full of Emmy Awards, his words carry significant weight. By reducing Harry to just Harry, Oliver didn't just make a joke, he issued a public verdict on his relevance. And for Harry, this is a stark, terrifying reminder that in the real world, outside of his Montecito bubble, royal titles do not automatically equate to respect. And yet we know from reports that he continues to demand royal treatment. The private jets, the lavish taxpayer-funded level security, the preferential treatment at every turn. He expects all the perks of the job he so publicly and petulantly quit. Oliver's jab highlights the sheer absurdity of this. The world no longer owes Harry bows, curtsies, or deferential address. His continued insistence on these privileges is increasingly seen for what it is: petulant, out of touch, and deeply embarrassing. And this happened on primetime television, one of America's largest platforms. Millions of people watched as Harry was stripped of the very respect he so clearly believes he is owed. The message was loud and clear. Outside the monarchy, outside Montecito, you are just Harry. And you can bet that Hollywood was watching. Insiders have reportedly watched their rise and fall with raised eyebrows. For a few years, Harry's royal brand opened every door. But now, without the backing of the palace and with this kind of public ridicule mounting, the industry is taking note. John Oliver's comments aren't just funny, they are a cultural verdict that executives, producers, and agents will hear loud and clear. They increasingly see him as a celebrity who is relying entirely on a past identity, not on any current achievements. His Netflix and Spotify deals have already faced massive setbacks, and in Spotify's case, a humiliating cancellation. This public dismissal just signals that Hollywood is growing increasingly skeptical of the Sussex's actual star power. And this isn't Harry's first public humiliation, is it? Over the years, we've seen South Park parody him and Meghan as the Prince and Princess of Canada on their worldwide privacy tour. We've seen media outlets routinely lampoon his private jet controversies. But John Oliver's Emmy-winning platform gave these mockeries an unprecedented level of visibility and credibility. Harry's desperate attempt to maintain his royal grandeur in the United States is unraveling in real time on global television. The monarchy is built on service, on duty, and on representation. And Harry abandoned all three when he stepped back in 2020. Yet he still clings to the privilege and the attention. Oliver's refusal to use Your Highness, highlights this central, fatal contradiction. The world will not honor titles without the deeds to back them up, and Harry's attempts to command respect without taking on any of the responsibility only deepen the public's ridicule of him. You know, it's funny. This whole situation reminds me of that bizarre story he told in his book about shoplifting a Curly Whirly chocolate bar as a kid, just because he wanted the thrill of it. It seems he's never really grown out of that mentality. He still wants the thrill and the perks of being royal without actually paying the price of duty and service. He wants the status without the accountability. It's the mindset of a child who never really had to face the consequences of his actions. And then you remember that weird clip of him agreeing to be in a kid's pitch for a superhero movie, where he plays a thief. It's almost like he's telling on himself. The world sees him as a man who is trying to steal the respect and privilege that he so willingly threw away. And Harry and Meghan's brand is so intrinsically linked to that royal prestige. But when the mainstream media, when a cultural heavyweight like John Oliver openly mocks the title, the brand's value erodes. Oliver's dismissal, which was then amplified across social media and YouTube, chips away at the very aura that sustains them. And this collapse is compounded by their string of failed ventures. Netflix has scaled back their projects. Spotify has ended their exclusive deal. The media coverage increasingly and rightly frames Harry as entitled and out of touch. Without that royal mystique, they risk being just another celebrity couple fighting for attention in the crowded landscape of Hollywood. The timing of this is everything. The Oliver incident comes amid mounting scrutiny of their entire operation. The jet controversies, the denied corporate sponsorships, the public questioning of his philanthropy. This isn't just a joke, it is a global wake-up call. Audiences are reassessing them. They are realizing that titles are meaningless without relevance, that entitlement cannot replace contribution, and that privilege without service absolutely invites ridicule. Oliver's simple choice of words, "just Harry," now echoes across the world. It confirms that Prince Harry's influence and his image are under siege, and that public respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned. And there it is. Prince Harry, stripped of his deference on primetime American television. This moment isn't just funny, it is deeply symbolic. It is a powerful reminder that privilege without responsibility, titles without deeds, and entitlement without respect no longer hold any power in the real world. Harry may still be legally a prince, but outside the palace walls, outside the Montecito echo chamber, and outside the royal spotlight, the world now sees him very, very differently. As a man clinging desperately to a relevance he no longer has, demanding a respect he hasn't earned, and being publicly exposed for it. So here's the question I want to put to all of you. Does Harry's royal title still mean anything in today's world? Should the world treat him like royalty? Or is John Oliver right? Is he just Harry now? Is this public humiliation a warning for all who rely on their past glories instead of their present actions? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this isn't just a discussion, it's a cultural debate. Millions of people watch this exchange, and the message is clear. Status isn't granted, it's earned. Hit that like button if you agree with Oliver's take. Share this video to spark a discussion among your friends who follow this royal drama. And subscribe, because moments like this, where reality crashes right through the royal fantasy, are exactly what you need to see. And remember, this isn't the end. The world is watching Harry, and every misstep, every entitled demand, every desperate attempt to cling to a grandeur he gave up will be scrutinized. And this latest brutal humiliation might just be the beginning of his very public and very long overdue reckoning. Ta-ta, and bye for now.